Hello, and welcome to the It's 500 Degrees in This Apartment podcast.
You could have
I'm
the
your host.
AC on. It won't catch on your mic.
Well,
No, because when you had the fan on, it never caught on your mic.
yeah, but the fan's not as loud as the AC.
I think last year you used to have the AC on and it didn't catch.
No, I definitely never did.
You did because we tested it.
We may have tested it. I never did that, though. I remember sweating my ass off.
Hmm.
Oh.
Well, welcome to the podcast where I do my taxes. Watch me do my taxes live.
Probably about as interesting.
More interesting, I'd say.
You got any good deductions?
No.
I'm wearing my glasses, aren't I? That's why I could see shit.
Yeah. I mean, why not keep on your glasses?
Because I don't like the reflection in them.
Hmm.
Makes me a little antsy. So, we watched Raw today.
You want to end the podcast now?
Actually, I didn't go to the bathroom, so I kind of am fine with that.
All right. Well, this is the Pinfall podcast. I'm your host, Mark. And this is my co-host, Liz. And Raw.
Oh, man. Wasn't it a good episode, Mark?
Was better than last episode.
By your rankings, it was.
I also just think it was better than the last one by like a smidge. A smidge. Kofi versus Riddle was very entertaining. I actually found the Alexa Bliss stuff at the end to be a little interesting. Much more interesting than Drew McIntyre winning a #1 contender spot for the 5th time.
I did like that they ended on a promo because I was like, well, it's the home stretch, baby.
Yeah. But we had Viking Raiders winning. That was pretty cool. Them getting a title shot. That's awesome. We also had #1 contender for the United States title. This is pretty much just a #1 contender episode all around.
Yeah.
The big thing that they were promoting for the episode, Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley doing their signing, this is the lamest part of the whole show.
There were a couple funny things that weren't really supposed to be funny, but they were fucking hilarious.
The fact that Drew McIntyre came out to the contract signing in his gear.
Without a shirt on, first of all.
And then Drew McIntyre slashing the table with a sword.
Next time, like, when I have to re-sign, like, a contract, I'm just going in, like, tits out.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, you know what, Drew did it, I can do it too.
Giant sword, slash the table afterwards.
Yeah, you know, why not? Also, just so you know, we missed Drew McIntyre's birthday.
What a shame.
Yeah.
But by far, the most painful and cringeworthy part of this entire episode, like without a doubt, is Charlotte Flair. I can't fucking stand her anymore.
I was giving her so many passes. I was giving her pass after pass after pass after pass. Today was bad.
This was so atrocious, and like that match was like, it was fine. You know, it was probably one of the better can they coexist matches, because there's a very obvious no, like they weren't trying.
Yeah.
But I don't know, she's grating on me with every fucking promo. It's like she sees Andrade debut at AEW and just like is like trying so hard to like one up him or something, but it's not
No.
working.
I wish she had, like, the same chill that Andrade has.
I mean, I get her character doesn't have chill. Like, I understand that her character is like fucking nuts, feel like she watched the movie Cruella and was like, that's who I want to be. She's like basing her gear off that, and I guess her personality too. I don't even see the movie, but I feel like that's the gist of it.
Is that going to be the reason we haven't seen Ric Flair? He was chased off a mountainside by a bunch of Dalmatians.
Yeah. Ric Flair's dead by Dalmatian. Those,
Dead by Dalmatian.
Those car insurance commercials are hell. And LA,
Yeah, they seem like it.
LA Knight is Satan.
Not gonna make friends with that attitude, Marcus.
I mean, he's also in those commercials, but
he is a used car salesman in it, so
yeah,
not much of a difference.
Is it a car insurance commercial or is it something else?
I think it's like Car Shield, right? Like where they're like, it's like car insurance, but not car insurance.
Right, it's like car protection, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just car insurance.
The gist is car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, welcome to the podcast where we talk about car insurance.
Where we talk about Ric Flair and Dalmatians. What have you watched on TV lately, Liz?
I finished Shadow and Bone. Fucking hated that shit.
Nice.
It's not good.
Cool.
You know, a lot of people are like really up in arms over it. They're not up in arms, but like in love with it.
I've heard good things from various people on the internet.
I think it's probably because I'm attracted to the wrong relationships in it.
Says a lot about us, doesn't it?
Okay. Have you watched any good TV lately?
Only TV I've watched is, besides wrestling, is you and me watching The Bad Batch. That's it.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's a good show.
It's a good show.
Yeah, last real show, last live action show I watched was Doom Patrol.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we hated half the characters in that, didn't we?
No, half the characters in that were great. We just hated the little girl.
Wait, and the old man.
You're supposed to hate Nigel.
Am I?
Yeah, he's a fucking asshole. Fucks up at every turn.
I thought I was supposed to like him.
I think we're supposed to identify with Cliff. We're like, yeah, this guy really is a fucking asshole.
I do identify with Cliff.
Anyway. Should we get into the news?
Cliff is also a Gemini, so...
Okay. News?
Oh, I thought we could avoid it. Yeah, sure.
Is there even any news? I feel like nothing's happened.
There's hella news.
What?
This is like 100% gonna fall over today, and I know it. It's one of those days. Damn.
It was cool when Matt Cardona surprised everyone in that match against Nick Cage. I don't know if you saw that.
I still have not seen the clip of that.
It is so cool. It's so cool because he pretends to be Moxley.
I'll have to look it up.
It's like all over Twitter right now, or at least was.
All right. So, I guess let's talk about some news. Shall we?
Yes.
Let's talk about some non-WWE news. First things first, let me pull up the news on my phone. Where the news is. That's not the right app. Different T app. Okay. So, first things first. Ray Phoenix. Ray Phoenix is currently sidelined due to a groin injury.
Really?
Yeah. And is supposed to...
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize there was more.
Is supposed to be out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Is that the reason that he's been out this whole time?
At this point, he's likely to be back in about a month.
Did you see during Double or Nothing, because he couldn't be out, he was doing Spanish commentary?
Apparently this match happened because he was in a match in Mexico.
Wait, what match happened because he was in Mexico?
It just says that um, the only information that Dave Meltzer had was that it happened last month. There's no timeline, there's no details other than the fact that it happened during a match in Mexico. The timeline has just been released,
Oh.
obviously, but
The injury happened because of a match in Mexico.
yeah, he was doing a match in Mexico.
Okay. Well, hopefully he gets better. He was like one of my favorites on the roster.
Now for my admission of being a terrible person.
Oh. Don't do that on the podcast.
So
You have to write a notes app apology.
I'm probably going to. So as everyone knows, Tracy Williams, well, I don't know if everyone knows this, but Tracy Williams, Ring of Honor star, was hit by a car. Guy was only going about 25 miles per hour, he said, but like I feel like
Still, too fast.
it's faster than most things hit you at, my experience.
I've been hit by a lot of things going 25 miles an hour.
Apparently, so I'm saying, in my experience, I've never been hit by someone going 25 miles per hour. As far as I know, I don't carry a speed gun everywhere. However, lucky enough for him, he was walking his dog at the time, and his dog did not get hit.
That's good.
Like, just managed to avoid the accident altogether. He said, I'd take a hit for her any day. And I was like, you know what? I get it. But apparently at this point he's in the hospital, or no, he's home now from the hospital. There's no real definition as to when he should be back at this point, but he has given the update that he's gone home. So there's that. My admission of being a horrible person is that I was like looking at the name Tracy Williams and I was like, what name is coming to mind that starts with the name Tracy? And then I thought of Tracy Chapman. Which, if you don't know who Tracy Chapman is, Tracy Chapman is really well known for the song Fast Car.
I don't think I've heard that song.
You probably have. I've probably played it for you at least a million times. It's one of those songs that you don't know you've heard until you've heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I came to that realization about 5 seconds ago, and I was like, oh, Elizabeth.
It's embarrassing.
Anywho, I was like, it's one thing to confuse it for another person, but to confuse the name for another person who wrote a song about a fast car, not ideal. Now, let's talk about some WWE news. Mark, I need you to come up with a little more energy than you got right now, buddy. I get some joie de vivre in you.
I'm looking for news.
Oh. I already found you the news.
Can we hear it?
So let's see. Let's start with the annoying piece of news, which is that the WWE currently has no plans for Big E because they released Aleister Black.
Shocker.
I know. I thought to include it just because I was like, this is fucking stupid. But yeah, creative has nothing for him now because, you know, they had kind of planned on Big E having a feud with a man that they didn't know was getting released. So, and then on the back of that, the WWE officially announced where they are having SummerSlam. If you did not watch Raw tonight, you probably don't know, maybe. I don't know. If you didn't know, they're having it at Allegiant Stadium. They've officially announced that. They were kind of holding off on announcing that for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And good thing that they're going back to touring soon because apparently, I think we talked about this briefly. Some folks stole some stuff from the Thunderdome.
Yep.
So Yingling Field is on the property of University of South Florida. And the police, the USF police, are currently asking people for some information as to the people that they caught on camera stealing the items. And shocker of all shockers, looks like a young dude. Also not a very smart dude because he's like just in regular ass clothes with his face out on camera.
He is from Florida.
It's just like run it through like fucking campus whatever. It's
Campus
gonna be a
whatever.
college kid. It's definitely got to be a college kid because like imagine like the draw of that of like, well, the entire WWE has their fucking like shit going on in our baseball stadium.
I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna steal shit like that, you wouldn't do it right next to where you live.
Again, it is Florida.
Right. And somebody probably hiked them from like Miami to go there and steal stuff.
Yeah, if you really, really, really have some urgent need to help out the USF police, they've got a picture of the guy on their Twitter account.
I hope like Xavier Woods' recording stuff for Up Up Down Down wasn't stolen.
I don't think that would have been there.
Well, I mean, they've been doing some in-person stuff there.
I doubt it. I feel like he probably would have said something by now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about next WWE draft. There are little fingies crossed that maybe, I don't know, something interesting will happen.
Yeah, this is actually, I think this is really interesting.
So they finally set a date for it. It's going to be happening on August 30th for Raw and September 3rd for Friday Night SmackDown.
That's my birthday.
Birthday.
My birthday is draft day.
Do you think you're going to get drafted?
Hell no.
Drafted
But
to the war.
it seems really interesting because it looks like they might be viewing SummerSlam as kind of the new chapter restart, as opposed to WrestleMania. I don't know why that is. Probably because of the pandemic and having to kind of shuffle everything around and shuffling for the crowds at WrestleMania. But this seems like the time, and I think they might actually get NXT involved this time. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and also, it'll be nice to see. It's nice that they've scheduled it so far out, and it'll be nice to see them maybe make something interesting happen. In addition to that, if they break my fucking heart again, though, like they did last year,
It'll be something like the New Day reuniting, because that might be why they pushed the draft into SummerSlam, so they could have Big E go back to reunite with the New Day.
yeah, because like that was fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
It was highly fucked up.
But
Especially when like the rest of the New Day were like, yeah, we didn't know this was gonna happen.
it'll probably also coincide with a lot of call-ups. Definitely, ideally, call-ups of women.
There isn't just 4 on Raw.
There are literally 4 singles women on Raw. Because Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans are both out. And Eva Marie hasn't debuted yet.
And speaking of Eva Marie has a date set now. It is not the date that was in my news.
That's technically part of the show.
It's because it coincides with another piece of news. Eva Marie's new debut date is going to be this coming Monday. And the reason I'm talking about this and not letting Mark wait till the show is because apparently it's looking like Piper Niven is going to also be called up. She was supposed to be there tonight, but I guess they kind of want her call up to coincide with Eva Marie's call up. It seems like they're considering pairing Eva Marie with either Piper Niven or Mercedes Martinez, but it's looking like it's going to be Piper Niven now. Yeah, I don't know how that would have worked. I don't. Yeah. Yeah, apparently Mercedes Martinez was the first choice, and Piper Niven is now the second choice.
They're just trying to force people together. They better fucking come in and have like a sick ass name and like matching gear and shit. I don't want them like coming in separately and be like, hey, you want to like fight together?
I feel that's probably what's going to be happening because Eva Marie's whole thing has kind of been like Eva Marie. And just Eva Marie.
Evolution.
Wish I could be about as excited as Corey Graves is. You know what's sad? I've been so burned out by like WWE lately. I haven't even gotten in one good "I want to fight Corey Graves" joke.
Because he's like
At this point,
he's not the worst thing about Raw. He's one of the better things.
it was so much easier when I could just hate him.
Yeah.
I had time back then, Mark. I had time.
Yeah.
I'm busy hating everything else. Like the show!
Matches and promos time.
Matches and promos time, baby.
Oh, it's time to get hyped.
You're hype, Mark. Drink your hype juice.
I spilled some water on myself. Alright.
Nice.
So, Raw, June 7th, 2021. That's what it says in my notes. Bobby Lashley, an MVP. Before the first match. Yes, we're starting with the match. Kind of, not really. Bobby Lashley and the MVP are with ladies drinking in the suite with champagne. I don't know why they cut to that. I don't know why they did. It didn't seem like it served any purpose to cut to that. It's what they do every week. And it had nothing to do with the match. Then after that, we had RK Bro versus the New Day versus the Viking Raiders versus Mason T-Bar versus Lindsay Dorado versus... Well, I'll get to the last one in a second. But Lindsay Dorado just came in alone. Where the fuck was Grand Metalik? You don't think...
Oh.
You don't think Grand Metalik and Bray Wyatt are both released?
No, I still think Bray Wyatt's getting some time off for... Because the thing is that I think the last thing WWE wants after everything that they've done so far is to release somebody who's like, hey, I wasn't mentally like equipped to be wrestling.
You think WWE cares about that?
I think with a fan favorite like Bray Wyatt, yeah. And also Bray sells them hella merch.
Yeah, but his match at WrestleMania was like one of the worst rated matches of all time. Everyone hated it.
I don't think Bray's released. Grand Metalik, on the other hand, worries me a little bit.
But it does seem like, because there's a video package that comes up later that I didn't write down in my notes, so I'll bring it up now. It seems like they've erased Bray Wyatt from history, maybe? Out of focus, I can't really tell.
A little fuzzy.
Let me see if that fixes anything, but yeah, it was an Alexa Bliss video package that leaves out Bray entirely and the Fiend. Either it's a release or they're completely repackaging Bray.
I think that'd be more the case.
Maybe.
Because technically we did have the Firefly Funhouse that was supposed to serve as a farewell, more or less.
Yeah. But it would also be a decent ending point for Bray to be released.
I don't think so. I really don't.
I hope
Grand
not.
Metalik I can see happening because the WWE just doesn't care.
Yeah. Alright, so before the match actually starts, AJ and Omos come out and they're talking on the ramp. They're condescendingly talking up all the tag teams. Everyone in the ring is like yelling at them. Kofi and Xavier yell at them, saying that they're not a real tag team. AJ says, "Don't interrupt me anymore, Kofi." Riddle and Randy, they start yelling back. Riddle goes on and on and on. Randy lowers Riddle's mic and just tells him, The Miz then comes out, rolling in on a wheelchair by John Morrison. The drip stick is still inside of the wheelchair. John Morrison's shit is so stupid.
Some people think it's really funny, and I don't get it.
How?
I don't know. I wish I thought it was funny.
This is like 5 p.m. at a comedy club. Funny. 5 p.m. on a Wednesday comedy club. Like, stop. Let people have their happy hour drinks and stop. But The Miz says the tag team scene has become a little dry. Oh wait, John Morrison says the tag team scene has become a little dry, and Johnny Drip Drip is gonna mop you guys up. What? All the puns, all these drip puns, I don't get it. Unless he's fighting Seth Rollins over the best drip, that doesn't work. Would love to see that though. A drip feud, drip off.
Maybe after the draft.
Moist match.
Who? Marcus.
Let's see. Then we get the match. Battle Royal. Or John Morrison enters himself into the Battle Royal, representing The Miz and John Morrison. Why, Liz? Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
You're gonna have. Let me start over. If you're gonna have Lindsay Dorado and write in John Morrison, both by themselves, why not just make it one person represents each tag team? Have a prolonged match with spots. Get some NXT tag teams in there too.
I think it's because WWE can't write for shit.
But they wrote they wrote the classic bit of the drip stick. The instant classic.
Even a blind dog finds a squirrel every once in a while. Wait, no.
Every blind squirrel finds its dog.
Every blind dog has his day.
Every blind mouse, every blind Vince gets a dollar bill.
There we go. Works. So do we actually have to talk about the match?
Talk about the finish.
Pretty sure I've got like 5 notes before the actual finish, so.
I hope we hear tomorrow that this Raw has like even lower ratings than the last one, like all-time lower than that.
Do you like the idea of like it's in the negatives now? People are calling like their TV subscription services and being like, "How dare you show this to me?"
USA is pulling it from certain people's TVs. But I
make ours next.
We need this to be a wake up call for WWE. We need some kind of like visceral reaction. Like we need them to notice, hey, people are not fucking watching anymore. Do something different instead of one match literally being a new match that's also a rematch. That's also a can they coexist match. Everything. Okay, maybe not everything we've seen before today. Like the Battle Royal was like an interesting concept in theory.
Battle Royal would have been fine if it were not for the fact that Lindsay was on his own, and so was John Morrison.
This whole episode would have been fine if it wasn't 3 hours long. Like, WWE changed that. Why is this show 3 hours long? Why? Fucking why? I'll write a 3-hour show for you. It'll be 3 1-hour long matches. Give us 3 TJPs versus Josh Alexanders. Iron Man matches.
Not allowed to like TJP. He's too vocal about how annoying he is.
It was a good ass match though.
It was a good ass match.
It's like
that's the thing that I hate is like I always assume that wrestlers probably like a lot of them are probably not people I would agree with. That's fine. 9 times out of 10 they don't talk about it, and then there's one person that I love, and they're just like, anyways, now on my Twitter, and I'm like, well, come on.
There's being, I mean, not to, you know, probably alienate some people, but there's like being a horrible person. I don't want to name names right now, but then there's also just being a moron, which is what TJP is.
You know, he's a fucking idiot.
But yeah. Wish we could just watch that Impact all over again.
Dude, Impact is so fun.
It is, and it's only gonna get more fun as we get closer to Under Siege.
Never forget the first time that we like tuned into Impact Live and we just hear the guy say, "Who wants to watch a 3-hour show?" And I was like,
"Yeah,
you got a point, brother."
Not us. Not any wrestling fan.
Anywho, before we make this a 3-hour show,
you know that clip from SpongeBob, like Patrick waking up in bed and saying, "Oh boy, 3 a.m." for eating a Krabby Patty. It's like Raw fans sitting down on their couch, be like, "Oh boy, 3-hour Raw." That's what I imagine. Like, how does anyone enjoy this?
That's how I used to feel.
Even back
in the good
then,
old days,
when we enjoyed it, it was still like, God, this is 3 hours.
Back when we used to see Mike Rome, we don't even see Mike Rome anymore.
I saw him last week.
We did, and I yelled about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a handsome little fucker. Anyways, so Mike Rome always wore his mask.
That we saw.
He said that he even wore it in the car, and I said, that's kind of stupid, but okay. I respect you. It's stupid on the other end of the stick. Anyways, so there's an RKO to Xavier from Randy and an RKO to Kofi from Riddle, and then Lindsay gets RKO'd by Randy, and apparently the bell hasn't even rung yet at this point, which is shocking. I thought it had.
Well, that was just, they just attacked.
I thought the bell had rung.
No. Okay, now's not the time. We're not even that far into the episode.
So the bell rings. Lindsay gets sprayed with the dripstick and gets launched over the ropes. Then John Morrison sprays Mason T-Bar with the dripstick and gets choke slammed from the fucking ring. Scroll. T-Bar then just fucking yeets Riddle. Mason T-Bar choke slam the New Day. They go to choke slam Randy, but they can't, and they try to put him over the ropes. They have no luck. They get a sit-out choke slam to Riddle, and then the field divides to take out Mason T-Bar, and they do it successfully. It is just Viking Raiders, New Day, and RK Bro, which I hate fucking saying. Xavier flips Riddle. Riddle lands on his feet, sends a forearm to Xavier. Then the Raiders shoulder tackle Xavier. Riddle tries to take on both the Viking Raiders, does it somewhat successfully. The Viking Raiders then hit a tandem offense onto Riddle, and Riddle gets eliminated. Then the New Day start attacking Ivar, and then Xavier Woods is eliminated by Eric, and then there's a running knees to Kofi, and then Ivar is dropped by Eric onto Kofi, and now Randall is being Randall, and just Ryan's fucking best. Knee gets sent to the midsection of Randy, though, and then there's a standing power slam to Randy from Eric. Then lifts Ivar, and Kofi, who is still in, goes off the top turnbuckle, stepping on both of them, stomping them down to the ground. There's a Trouble in Paradise sent to Orton, but it's interrupted by Riddle, who is eliminated, but takes the hit for Randy. Randy then eliminates Kofi, and then the Viking Raiders eliminate Randy as he is kind of gloating in his elimination of Kofi, and then the Viking Raiders win. None of us do.
Oh, come on. I like the Viking Raiders winning. It's different from the New Day getting the 50th title shot, and RK Bro with the obvious win.
I was happy that it was not the team I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
They'll say that much.
They'll get their shot at SummerSlam. Or Money in the Bank. But you know what I found out during that, while you were explaining that match? That Rob Zombie's directing a Munsters movie.
Did you now?
Yeah. Like the
That's
Rob Zombie that's made very violent and horribly written movies. That's like most of his movies, and yet he's doing the Munsters.
Oh, good for him, branching out.
I'm hoping for like a hard R Munsters. What?
I've never seen a Munsters movie in my entire life.
They're not movies, it's a show.
Oh.
It's a 2-season show that had like 30 plus episodes per season, on like I think like 70 episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
I know so little about everything.
It was one of the shows that I loved growing up. It was like always on Nick at Night. Alright. So after that match, we had Sonya and Adam Pearce backstage, and they're approached by Charlotte Flair because what else is Charlotte doing? She's only telling on the adults. Charlotte says that she was publicly pressured into a match. She wants it struck from her record, meaning her match against Nikki Cross last week. Adam Pearce says you participated in that match, and then Sonya says, yeah, you participated and you lost. Charlotte says, I tried to ask nicely, but you're both jealous of me. You're flustered. How about you both agree that I deserve a rematch? What the fuck is this? Who fucking wrote this? You're both jealous of me. Honey, Adam Pearce is a goddamn manager.
Adam Pearce doesn't have to do shit, and he makes hella money.
And Sonya literally brought you back from suspension. Are we forgetting that?
I think that was also stricken from the record.
Yeah, so is the writing. Rhea Ripley, I wrote down Rhea Fipley, walks in.
Nice.
She says, I respect Nikki. I don't know what I wrote, but I respect Nikki, unlike you. If anyone deserves a rematch tonight, it's me. And then I think Adam Pearce said, that's a compromise. What if Rhea and Charlotte teamed up against Nikki and a partner of her choosing? See if they can coexist. One of the commentators literally said, can they coexist during the match?
That was Jimmy. Good old Jimmy.
Jimmy. Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy said, I'm not fucking pulling any punches here.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to be punched right now. Alright, so then we get the Viking Raiders backstage. They're both hyped up. They say, tag team champions. Raid, raid, raid. And Ivar says, I'm so hungry right now. AJ and Omos walk in. Omos is holding a turkey leg, and AJ says, "We've got a turkey leg." We don't know anything about Vikings, though. Or he says, "I don't know anything about Vikings, though." Omos, do you know anything about Vikings? No. To us, you want to be Vikings, but you're not actually Vikings. And then Ivar says, oh no, Eric says, "The way I live honors the Vikings that came before me. If you have a problem with that, then we have a problem." And you know what? They're giving us some conflict. They're giving us some story. Yes, give us a little story. I've been really appreciating the Raw tag team scene lately. It's been not horrible for the most part. They've been actually trying to spice it up, and although RK Bro has gotten some mixed reactions, it has really spiced up the scene. Whether you like it or not. So then after that we get Elias in the ring. And he's starting off by saying, "Clearly, I had no choice leaving Riker. When I met him, I didn't see unbridled potential. I didn't see superhuman strength. I looked into his cold eyes and I saw a man that has been into battle. There's an unwavering universal truth in he said in their hearts. I don't know what he was talking about. But then out of nowhere, he's attacked by Jackson Raker. Who? I mean, I know you don't want to talk about him, but it's like something new. Because it's the only new thing that happened in this episode. He's got a new look, and it looks so much worse. Like, yes, he was fucking ugly prior, but like at least he had a look that made him unique. He stood out from other wrestlers. Now he just looks like every other fucking tag team wrestler in the wrestling biz. Like, throw him on Impact, he'll look like every other dude there.
Yeah.
Not good. I don't know if you want to talk about this match. We don't have to if you don't want to. I gave it a 1 star because this was fucking atrocious. Basically, Elias walks out of the match. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I will still maintain. I kind of thought that they were going to release, whatever you want to call them.
Face turn. Face turn.
Yeah, that's worse. That's worse. That is, like, for them to not release him is one thing. For them to make him a good guy?
Well, I just want to start by saying not releasing him is one thing. Not releasing him after releasing his other tag partners who were significantly better than him. I know they had their problems, but not anywhere near as fucking awful as a wrestler Riker is. Riker is an awful wrestler. Cutler and Blake were fantastic.
I thought that I was only going to have to hold off on saying rude things about them, about this person, until he got released. And now that he's not getting released, I'm going to maintain my position of not talking about his matches.
Yeah, horrible look, and the fact that he's being pushed as a face while going, like he's got a million flies on his face. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
He's a horrible person, so I'm going to talk about this.
Okay.
Hairline.
Not good. Let's go bald. Join Violent by Design.
It was like a reverse mohawk in that, like, it was through here that was bald, and I was like,
now, we're not shitting on balding people.
no, I have some balding friends.
I have a bald friend.
I have a friend with male pattern baldness.
No, it's
but
not,
I will shit on this balding person.
That is not the problem with Riker.
No. No.
It's just a noticeable
not by a long
quality.
mile.
If he's gonna like cut his hair. That's not the look you want to go for. But the big takeaway here is that Elias walked out of the match, which, remember the last time somebody walked out of the match? Dana and Mandy, because they were satisfied with Nia slipping off the apron, and now Elias is just scared, I guess.
The Elias, I kind of don't blame it. Only because, like, the whole point was, like, Elias was like, oh, no, this guy's... Like, we already went into this under the assumption that Elias was like, this guy's crazy. I don't want to be around him.
Right, but, like, why stay for a match in the first place? Like, why not just book it as soon as you see him? I don't know. I hate that shit when somebody runs out of a match. It's so annoying. Like, why have a match in the first place? Why waste our time?
Well, because that's what they do best.
They're gonna waste 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait for Elias to be in front of a crowd, though. That's gonna be great.
That will be nice. I do miss him telling me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Shut your mouths. That's
Miss
good
it.
stuff. Alright, so then after that, we had the contract signing between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. Drew McIntyre comes out in his kilt and his sword. He sits down at the table, looking like a fucking idiot. No offense, Mr. McIntyre, but he kind of looked stupid.
Yeah, that was bad.
Bobby doesn't come out. Drew goes on and on about some story that I didn't write down. I don't know what his deal with that story was.
It was
Run us
King
back.
Richard
Mm-hmm.
a castle. A damp castle.
Damp
Castle was damp.
Okay.
He saw a spider. The spider was trying to make a web. It was too damp. And then he won a war. That's about where he tuned in and tuned out and tuned back in.
I glanced over at like Adam Pearce and Sonya's faces as he was telling the story, and they just look like so confused, but also so bored.
I can imagine Adam Pearce's face of just being like,
Yeah.
that's kind of his go-to anyways. And the moment Drew sat down and started talking, I was like, this is when my inability to focus in conversations comes in handy. I tuned that shit out so hard.
He's like, Drew was like, well, Bobby's not coming out here, so gotta waste some time.
Story time.
But MVP then appears in the jumbo. He says, well, let's not get hasty. This is some business that needs to be discussed, Drew. Bobby was just fashionably late. It's coming out now. Bobby comes out, got all the ladies with him and MVP. They all get in the ring. MVP says, you manipulated your way into another championship opportunity, Drew. How will you reward the almighty, or he turns to the Pierce and Sonya. How will you reward the almighty for his compliance in this contract signing? Bobby says, once you lose to me at Hell in a Cell, you won't ever be able to get another title opportunity against me ever again. Should have gotten that last time. And I like the phrasing of this because I think this hints at Bobby winning. Because very specifically, you can't get another rematch against me. Against the Almighty. So I think he plans on retaining. He'll probably lose it at Money in the Bank in front of a crowd. That'll be interesting.
If he wins, though, I'm done.
Yeah, if he wins, it's gonna be pretty stupid because there are no heels in men's singles. Bobby Lashley is the only one. You Cedric is one, but he's not anywhere near the main card.
Yeah.
What other heel singles men are there? I'm like totally blanking. They've all been moved to tag team. Got Randy moved to tag team. Mason T-Bar tag team. Mustafa, he's now who the fuck knows where he is.
He's stirring the pot as he should.
He's stirring the pot, or he's gonna be a part of a tag team with Mansoor.
If there's something up there.
The only thing I could feasibly see is that Hell in a Cell, Sheamus loses his title to either Ricochet or Humberto, and then goes after Drew for the WWE title. That would be an interesting story, because we didn't quite get that story to its fullest when it just happened. We kind of rewind it back a little bit. This time without a third party. But Drew, oh no. MVP continues going on, and then Drew says, I accept, you can stop. MVP says, I appreciate the decisiveness. And Drew says he'll only agree if he'll never fight Lashley for the WWE Championship again if he loses, but there must be no outside interference. I want a match where nobody else can lose on my behalf inside Hell in a Cell. And you know what, Drew? Bobby probably also doesn't want a triple threat either. That's been the whole storyline this whole time. Bobby lost his title in a triple threat. He doesn't want another one. And then Bobby says, or MVP says, the Almighty accepts your terms. Oh, MVP says, no. Bobby says, if at first you don't succeed, you just don't win against the Almighty, you tuck your kilt between your legs and walk away. Drew says, I've got some advice. I haven't been the same since my last match at Hell in a Cell. And I'm willing to go through all that again. And then he fucking slashes the table.
By the way, I don't think a lot of people saw this, but there was one of the girls who would come with Bobby. It's here go. It was like, yeah.
Yeah, she's attracted to Drew.
But also, Drew has been the same. I haven't seen a single change in Drew since Hell in a Cell. It's just been more annoying. Well, yeah, but like he's also not a heel, so.
I mean, he is a heel. Let's be honest.
No.
He is as much of a heel now as the Mysterios were when they were bullying Buddy Murphy.
That was not fair. Look what happened.
Yeah. Now Murphy got released. Thanks a lot,
Thanks, Ray. We're on the same page.
So then we get an interview with Nikki Cross. This was so dumb. Like, this was so fucking corny.
Better be nice to Nikki Cross. I swear to God, I'll come
I
through
love
that window.
Nikki, but like, come on. The writing for this promo was so corny.
What did you expect, by the way?
I don't know. This fucking former member of Sanity, a former tag team champion, to be like tough.
Was she a member of Sanity?
Yeah, it was like her, Wolf, Eric Young, and Dane. There's a picture of her holding the tag belts.
Oh.
Alright, so she says, this has been inside of me the whole time. It doesn't matter if you're not the prettiest or the strongest. My tenacity makes me a winner. That was the worst line for me. It doesn't matter if you're the prettiest or the strongest. The thing is, with
Go
Nikki,
full Ricky Bobby. You ain't first, you're last.
Nikki's supposed to be hella strong. Like, that's her whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
is she just... Are they having her in this angle now because she's shorter than Rhea and Charlotte? Oh my god, I hate that. And Mick... Put that with her terrible new walkout. That is
it's
the
not
worst. Good. That and Tamina's walkout are the two worst in WWE.
Tamina's had her walkout for a while, so it's not fair.
They gotta change hers. I mean, come on.
Even though she's a tag champ.
Yeah.
She's also a women's wrestler, so she probably won't.
I don't know. They changed Liv's back to hers. Her original.
That was kind of out of necessity.
Alright, so Nikki says the only thing I'm gonna regret is not taking chances. And she's asked about who her partner is. She said, I have thought about my partner. And it's Asuka, because there's only 4 singles women on the entire roster, and they're all going to be in one match together.
I really thought when she was saying this girl was like, has a mask and stuff like that. Do you remember the girl who was in NXT?
Yes.
That's who I thought it was going to be.
I thought you were talking about Mia Yim.
Stop. Imagine.
That would have been so good. That's so good. Alright.
Then Mia Yim says this is where Keith Lee has been.
Oh. Except she didn't. She was asked about where Keith Lee is, and she's like, this is a Mia Yim account, thank you very much.
But Mia, we're worried now.
Well, ask him. Alright, so then
He's not giving us answers.
Then we get Ricochet versus Humberto Carrillo for the #1 contender for the United States Championship. And that was...
Are you just gonna gloss over Sheamus?
Sheamus comes out. He comes out with his fucking Brandon Cutler face guard. This doesn't help that we watched this right after watching BTE. Brandon Cutler with the fucking face guard on the whole time. Oh my god. He comes out.
It doesn't help that Sheamus like comes out looking like.
He comes out like all sad, and he's got like the puffy yellow around the eyes. He's like sounds all nasally because it's pressing up against him. He says, How do these guys have a title opportunity for breaking my face? The only word I really know how to do in that accent is toitle. Toitle.
You know how to say Muppet?
Muppet.
Yeah.
Muppet.
And Junkie.
Junkie.
Yeah.
I missed that
Sheamus
storyline. Oh, I never thought I'd miss it.
Remember Jeff threw piss at Sheamus?
Remember Nega Jeff? And now
What
Jeff
was that,
Hardy's
though?
a fucking jobber. Oh man.
Like, far be it for me to say this, Jeff Hardy deserves better, dude.
He does. He's like the highest tenured guy on the roster, and here he
He's
is.
treated like the old man that's just rambling in the corner.
He had one of the first ever ladder matches against The Undertaker. Like, holy fuck. He deserves better. Alright, so yeah, let's get into the match. I almost loved this match.
Okay. Let me hiccup real quick. So Humberto goes to taunt Sheamus before the match starts. He gets knocked off the apron by Ricochet, who's, I guess, trying to be a heel. I don't know. I don't know who's a face anymore. Ricochet gets some body shots to Humberto and then whips him into the corner, hits him with a standing power slam. Humberto goes up and over Ricochet's shoulders, hits him with a springboard crossbody. We get a sit-out one-handed powerbomb to Ricochet. Ricochet then lifts Humberto to the apron. Humberto then lifts Ricochet over to the apron, and then Ricochet lifts Humberto back into the ring. Don't really know why they did this. Really not sure. Not sure what it was supposed to prove. Umberto then hits Ricochet with a kick upside the head, dives it onto Ricochet afterwards. We go back into the ring, and there's a missile dropkick to Ricochet, as well as a standing by slam to Ricochet. Umberto goes to moonsault off the top rope onto Ricochet, but Ricochet moves, and Umberto floats through. There's a suplex to Umberto, and then both men are on the apron chopping at each other before Ricochet hits the Spanish Fly ringside, to the ringside area. And, then they're counted out.
Yeah. It's not the worst no contest finish that I've seen by far. And I'm sure this will somehow result... Oh, God, I just shook my whole fucking desk. I'm sure this will somehow result in a triple threat for the United States title. But it's still... I mean... I wish it hadn't ended like this. But, you know, it is what it is. I'd rather see like a whole bout where these guys will just like keep going and they keep going, just like mauling each other, and then like they get to a point where neither of them can just stand up in the ring.
And we both saw the match, like the little match card at the bottom of the screen. We were like, "Oh, this seems like a good match."
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the death knell.
But after that, we get Kofi and Xavier backstage. MVP approaches Kofi. Xavier's like, "Hey, you want some help?" Kofi's like, "No, I got it." And Kofi says, "What, Lashley let you off your leash?" MVP says, "I was impressed with your match last week. Prior to representing Bobby, I was a Kofi fan. Last week, I thought I caught a glimpse of that old Kofi Mania fire. But then you shook Drew's hand. There were no friends in this. This is show business." And Kofi says, "Watch your mouth. I don't need your advice. My family and friends provide me the motivation to do this. There are little kids watching this because they believe in me. Why does Bobby do this? For money?" That was a sick-ass promo from both of them. Once again proving that MVP is the best that Raw has. And that the New Day is being completely underutilized. And then yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's crazy how like they underutilize them in a way that's like they overutilize them and underutilize them at the same time. If that makes sense.
They utilize them in the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna have them as like, if you're not gonna throw Kofi in this position for the title, turn them heel. Some of their best work as a tag team has been when they're heels.
I've never seen them as heels.
It is great. It is some great stuff. And then to follow up that great promo, we have Eva Marie.
Oh boy.
I didn't write down anything that was said, so. But then we get Mansoor backstage. Also, they've stopped the 2 Eva Marie promos per episode.
Thank God for that. That was weird.
Yeah, because like the first one would just be a repeat of the second one from the last episode.
Yeah.
But we got Mansoor backstage next. Mustafa then walks in. He says, "Are you ready for your match?" Mansoor says, "I'm ready." Mustafa says, "You think you're ready, but you're not." And Mansoor says, "Yeah, I said I'm ready." Mustafa says, "What you're ready for is a fair fight. But Drew Gulak is not going to give you one. He'll cut every corner he can to beat you. Trust me, I know he's dangerous." I cannot wait to see these two either have a feud. I hope it's an extended feud, first of all, or have a tag team.
So I don't think that we're gonna be ever given the gift of a tag team between them.
You don't think so?
No.
Because a feud would imply that there's kind of an equal balance, and they don't want to break Mansoor's winning streak, even though it's technically broken. It's not. It's not technically broken.
I don't see them giving that to us at all. Because the WWE is the WWE.
We'll see.
I could see a feud for sure.
But after that, we then have Jeff Hardy versus Cedric Alexander. You know what?
Cedric's killing me.
Is he?
He's so funny.
He really is.
Like, I would love like a supercut of all the time Cedric was in the ring just shouting. Like that raspy, high-pitched voice that he gets when he starts shouting.
It's so good. It's so good.
I don't know why that's like his like vocal ranges go to.
Mm-hmm.
So Cedric gets sent into the turnbuckles and then kicked in the head. Jeff goes off the top or the second rope with some double axe handles to the back of the neck. There's a drop kick to Jeff, and then Cedric starts grinding him into the buckles. We get a snapmare into a standing drop kick to the back of Jeff, and a back heel enziguri to Cedric. Jeff then goes to dive out onto Cedric, and Cedric hits him with a back elbow. We get a headlock on Jeff, and then Cedric pulls Hardy's hair, and this inspires Hardy to get a few shots off onto Cedric. There's a second rope boot to the face of Cedric and a Hurricane Rana. Then we get a clothesline to Jeff and an inverted atomic drop, as well as a Russian leg sweep, because Jeff Hardy said, "I refuse to be one of three men in the main roster that continually does the same moveset over and over and over again. I can no longer make fun of Jeff Hardy for that, and I feel so good about it."
Yeah. We always forget how talented of a wrestler Jeff Hardy is.
I mean, he really was relying on that one combination offense for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The point where it was like, this is fucking stupid. Now it's just Matt Riddle and Drew, and really Matt Riddle didn't do that today either, which
Riddle's also, he's in a unique spot where his storyline is motivating a change in moveset, which is good.
He goes through the twist of fate. He can't get it. Cedric then fakes Jeff out, hits him with a drop kick to the knee instead of the chest. We get a suplex to Hardy, and then Cedric goes up top, fucking mocks Jeff on the top rope, the little jackass, and then gets hit with the twist of fate. And Jeff then goes up top himself, hits a swanton bomb, nearly kills himself in the process, but he wins. Good for Jeff.
Yeah. Maybe this is a start to a push, or who knows what this is going to entail. I know this match was because they're both North Carolina boys, and it was to see who the best in North Carolina was.
Was it?
Yeah. That's what their promos were about going into it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But after that, we got Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair backstage. Charlotte says, "Follow my lead, Rhea. You can take care of Nikki since you respect her so much, and I'll take Asuka." And then we get Nikki Cross and Asuka versus Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair.
God.
Yeah, you want? I'll pop out and get like a beer or something if you want to talk about this. I didn't hear anything you said.
That's because I didn't say it out loud. Don't want to talk about this.
Talk about the finish.
Charlotte immediately shoves Nikki away. Rhea tags in. Rhea slams Nikki onto her face, and then Nikki rolls Rhea up. Asuka gets in, avoids all sorts of moves from Charlotte. Shoulder tackles Rhea when she gets in, but Rhea hardly moves. Then she goes to kick Rhea, but Rhea catches her, headbutts her. Like a weird hanging armbar, sort of like the octopus lock. They didn't say that. I'm not sure if it was that. And there's a shoulder tackle to Asuka. Charlotte gets in. Nikki gets in. We get a big DDT onto Flair and a drop kick from Asuka onto Flair. Asuka gets back in. Charlotte cartwheels free of an arm submission and then gets Asuka in a sleeper. Rhea tags in. gets sent out by a hip attack from Asuka. It was ultimately meant for Charlotte, but Charlotte dodged it. We get a headlock on Rhea post-commercial break, and then some body shots through the ropes at Rhea and a headbutt to Nikki. She lifts Nikki onto her shoulders, hits the electric chair facebuster. Charlotte gets back in, does a silly little cartwheel into a kick to the chest of Nikki. We get a headlock on a wriggling cross, and then Rhea gets tagged in with a hard chop to the chest. We get a vertical suplex to Nikki. Charlotte gets in. Nikki dodges Charlotte, sending her into the post. There's a jawbreaker to Charlotte and a failed enziguri to Charlotte. Charlotte goes to lift Cross into the corner, and this was advertently on Charlotte's part. But she inadvertently kicks Rhea in the face, hits the sunset flip on to Charlotte, and a bulldog to Rhea, who is the now legal man. Asuka gets in with a sliding knee to Rhea and a hip attack to Charlotte and double knees to the face of Rhea. We get a Northern Lights suplex from Charlotte to Asuka a Northern Lights suplex from Rhea to Asuka after Charlotte grabbed Asuka's ankle, halting her from moving any further. We get a belly to back suplex to Rhea and a hip attack to the face of Rhea. Nikki gets in, goes up top, hits a crossbody onto Rhea. Flair breaks the cover. Then Rhea and Charlotte start brawling in the middle of the match. There's a chop block and a natural selection to Rhea, and Nikki takes advantage of this and rolls Rhea up to win.
It wasn't a horrible match. It really wasn't. Charlotte and Rhea fighting made sense. I just wished it was against anyone but Asuka.
Well, we don't have anyone else.
Yep. Why not make it against? They should have. Like, I wish Nikki would have been like, what if I could have Alexa Bliss? And then they're just like, I don't want to touch that one, Nikki. At least just like throwing that line.
I kind of thought that she was going to mention Alexa Bliss at least.
Yeah.
Like, I once had a tag partner that would have helped me in this situation.
Oh, you know what would have been fucking wild? And I can't expect them to do something like this. But just like Nikki Cross is in the interview and she reveals her tag partner. And it's straight up Alexa Bliss. Like no creepy shit or anything. It's just straight up Alexa Bliss. And then the match goes through. Nikki and Alexa win. And then she just like vanishes at the end. It's poof. Gone.
Mark, that sounds like a cool idea. That's why they're never going to do it.
Yeah. It's the magic you can do with fucking no crowds. God, I'm just trying to do in my head, like, have the commentators, like, Vince tells them never to mention Alexa Bliss at all. And then, like, Alexa Bliss is gone, and then it's pretty much acted like Nikki Cross won the match by herself. And then you're left wondering, like, did she? Did she, though? I don't know. That sounds so cool.
It does sound cool.
Oh, fuck me. Okay. Well, after that match, we then have Alexa's Playground. Well, a little bit. It's a announcement for the real Alexa's Playground. Alexa says, Shayna said Lily's just a stupid doll. I promise. She'll regret, or I don't remember what she said after that, but she said, I promise it's going to be a real scream, in reference to Alexa's Playground, but it's going to be a real scream. That's not even a pun. That's not a pun at all.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, I think that's like something that they used to say in the old days.
Is it?
I think so.
It's gonna be a real explosion. That's kind of what happened. I feel like the thing with Raw is nobody's having fun. Like nobody, none of the wrestlers, none of the writers, nobody is having fun. Nobody enjoys being there. Except Corey Graves.
It must suck so much to be a wrestler there, though, because it's like everyone hates the show anyways.
Everyone hates the show. Everything gets changed up last second. You're constantly in a state of worrying about being released. I don't know, man. But after that, we got...
It's not even fun being a fan, because, like, at the same time, it's like, I'm constantly worrying about who's going to be released next.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see someone for, like, a couple weeks, and we're like, well... Like, our go-to for Grand Metalik not being there should not be, oh, he was probably released. But also...
After that, we got Mansoor versus Drew Gulak. I wanted to like this match. It was so short.
God, I've got hella notes for Kofi versus Riddle.
Hmm.
Drew Gulak versus Mansoor. We get a shoulder tackle to Mansoor, who dodges the elbow drop from Mr. Gulak. Drew then body slams Mansoor into the ropes, and then like starts doing like this weird little sort of a Boston Crab. A Boston Crab if you really just don't want to try doing a Boston Crab. Looked painful though. Mansoor then gets up, punches Drew, chops him up as well. There's a boot to the face of Gulak, and then he rolls Mansoor up in a variety of ways, including with the tights in hand, as Mustafa warned Mansoor about. Mansoor, however, fights free, reverses the pin, rolls Drew Gulak up on his own, and wins.
Could have been a fantastic match. Really could have.
I was really happy with what we got, though.
It was still squash. Like you build up Drew Gulak as being like this dirty fighter who's like really gonna torture you, really gonna like put you in pain, and then Mansoor beats him in like 2 minutes.
His new shtick is like this like guy who's like kind of a schemer.
Yeah. Remember when he had that match against Daniel Bryan?
Oh my god, stop. Those were the good old days.
Those were the good days.
Those were the days back when we hated SmackDown and Raw was not a slog.
Even though SmackDown was still pretty decent.
May I remind you of SmackDown Karaoke?
SmackDown Karaoke, but also the whole Intercontinental title scene. When AJ won it, Daniel Bryan had that great match against Gulak. Elias was hit by a car. Oh man, Elias getting hit by the car was like so fucking funny. I don't know. I thought it had its good aspects, but SmackDown Karaoke was fucking atrocious. Anyway, after that match, we had Randy and Riddle backstage. Randy hands Riddle the invisible key back. Riddle says he really wants to stop at Burger King, get a Whopper, goes on and on and on. Then Riddle seals his lips again. But before he does, he asks Randy if he's going to come out and watch his match. Randy says, not sure yet. And then we have Riddle versus Kofi Kingston. This match fucking slapped. This was great.
Yeah.
It's because this was actual booking. This match was planned.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. There's body shots from Kofi to Riddle, and then a kick to the chest of Riddle. Kofi gets a bit of like a donkey kick to Riddle, who hits back with a gut wrench suplex, floats through to do a second one. Then we get a senton onto Kofi and some chops that light up Mr. Riddle. Kingston goes off the middle rope on to Riddle. Get it. Then Randy comes out. And he starts yelling at Xavier, who's been playing his trombone the entire time, and then gets a sliding dropkick to the face. Then there's a dropkick to Riddle as well. Randall back to belly suplexes Xavier into the announce desk, and Kofi dives out onto Randy and Riddle. We get a big elbow to the face of Kofi in the corner post-commercial break, and an exploder suplex as well as a PK to Kofi. We get like a really bad Hurricane Rana to Riddle, and then like a stomp afterwards. The Hurricane Rana was just fucking flubbed. Every sense of the word. Kofi then pancakes onto Riddle, dives through the ropes, and kicks Riddle upside the head. Kofi is then on the apron, and he won't allow Riddle to drag him up over the ropes. He goes up top, gets slowed down by some chops from Riddle. Kofi fights Riddle down, but Riddle gets back up, starts fighting him again. Kofi fights him down again, and hits a frog splash down onto like Riddle's back, which was also kind of weird. It did not look like it landed properly. Riddle then uses his legs to pull Kofi from the ring in another very messy, botched affair. Because I know what this move looks like, and it was not that.
I think a lot of it wasn't that it was botched. It was like it was supposed to look grungy.
That's one way to look at it. From my perspective, it just looked messy.
The splash on Riddle's back, was that when he was like kind of bent over?
Yeah.
That was Kofi's leg drop. He does it a lot.
He didn't get the leg up.
He got a little elevated, I noticed.
Anyways, Kofi then is then brought down to ringside near Randy, who's standing there the whole time, just like, oh, I'm not gonna do anything, I promise. He tries to get back inside the ring, gets knocked off the apron by Riddle. Randy once again. Now Randy, like the second time, Randy was like standing down, kind of like down in ready position. I was like, Randy, don't do it. We got a running forearm to the back of the head of Kofi ringside. As Kofi goes back to get into the ring again, Riddle meets him, hits him with the Draper DDT. I fucking hated. Fails doing the RKO, and then there's a failed Trouble in Paradise, and then after another failed move from Riddle, the Trouble in Paradise connects, and Riddle, Mick loses, and Randy is sad. I'm still fucking mad. Randall acknowledged one of our tweets. That tweet was used. Fucking kayfabe.
Yeah.
Mad about it.
Yeah. Yep. But then after that, we have the final segment of the evening. We have... Well, actually, this isn't the last segment, but we had Shayna backstage with Nia. Nia says, and this is actually kind of a nice moment, or Nia tries to make it a nice moment. She says, I know things have been tense. Shayna says, things have been tense because Bliss has been sticking her nose in our business lately, and you've been completely distracted by Reginald. Nia says, Reggie's home recovering. You were out of line. I'm here to help because I know Alexa Bliss. This is the most dangerous I've seen her. Shayna says, it is just a stupid doll, so I don't need your help. Alexa Bliss could probably use your help. And then we get Alexa's playground for real. Alexa says, new friends come in different shapes, sizes, and blood types. Shayna comes out. She just immediately knocks over the rocking horse. Bliss says, that wasn't very nice. Someone didn't learn their lesson last week, but maybe things will change. We want to give you a chance to be our friend, our new friend. All you have to do is apologize to Lily. Shayna says, you want me to apologize to a doll? You are even more delusional than you look. You are behind Reginald's accidents. You're also the reason why Nia and I aren't tag team champions. Alexa says, that's just silly. I never do such a thing. And then she puts her ear to Lily and says, I think it'd be in your best interest to just apologize. Shayna stands up, grabs Lily, and says, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're just a stupid doll. And then Bliss gets pissed and punches Shayna right in the face and keeps attacking her. Shayna then stands on Lily while Bliss is out of the ring, and just stomps in her continually. Lights start going all funky, LED panels flashing all over the place. Shayna walks up the ramp, pyro goes off chasing her out, and then we cut to her backstage. At first I thought we were going to end on the pyro going off, and I was like, oh fuck, that's so lame. But then this gets a little more interesting. Backstage, lights keep getting weird, flickering, just going bonkers, and shit literally falls from the sky. There's a cart that falls down from the sky, a fucking steel beam crashes down. Don't know where the whole crew is right now. But yet the camera guy's still there, thank God.
Well, one thing's for sure, the grips are not doing their job.
Those things are not gripped.
They are far from gripped.
Somebody left that cart on the ceiling?
That was like the first thing to fall. Like, I thought maybe it'd be like a set of lights or something, and that was the first thing to fall, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. She then tries to go into some rooms, but all the doors are locked. She goes into one room, barricades herself with couches, but the lights keep flickering. Well, duh, Shayna. The whole building operates from breaker. It's not separated room by room. And then she looks in the mirror in the room, and Lily's behind her. But she turns around and she's not there. It's back in the mirror, she's there again, and Shayna kicks the mirror, smashing it, and Lily is still there. Creepy stuff.
Gotta be honest with you. I believe in karma way too much. I would not have even done that for a shot. If they asked me to, like, I would not have.
Wow.
If Vince McMahon was like, it's between you and this mirror or you're getting fired, I'd be like, I'll go get my 90 days and call Tony Khan.
Tony Khan asks you to break a mirror.
Like, well, only if Lance Archer acknowledges me.
Acknowledge me as your tribal chief.
That too.
Alright, so that's our episode. A pretty good finish. I liked that Alexa Bliss segment, especially with the backstage stuff. Shayna felt very much like Shayna. She felt tough. She felt condescending. And yeah, she was scared of the pyro, but like it's fucking pyro going off. So kind of makes sense. I thought this was a better turn for her.
I still don't like this version of Alexa Bliss, and I'm never going to. It only was solidified to me because, like, there's something just so uncomfy to me about the way that, like, I felt like I was watching a child beat up another person because they insulted their doll. The way that, like, she tackled her in, like, the playground, I was like, you're a grown woman. Fuck. I did, however, like the shot of Shayna standing on top of Lily like she was God.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would have just torn the head off of it. I don't like mutilating stuffed animals, but I'd take a pass on that one.
Would you want a stuffed animal mutilating you? Now,
it depends if it's nice.
I want an explanation next week on how the fuck Shayna got out of that place. Like, how did she get out of that situation?
I hope that, like, we just go into Raw and Shayna's, like, still in that room, just, like...
Either that or, like, passed out or something. Give us like, a pool of blood. Fake blood under her head. USA wanted Raw to be more mature.
It's true. It's true.
It's fake blood. Do that. And she's like out. She's like Christopher Daniels herself. I don't know. I keep coming with ideas for shit that's not gonna happen. All right. They just making Alexa Bliss supernatural. Like they've given themselves the strongest woman on the entire roster, and it feels like they're not doing anything with her. Notable. All right. So bests of the night, Liz. Would you like to change the sign?
Not really.
Okay. Well, we started off. I'm gonna go fast through these promos. So, we got Sonya and Pierce backstage with Charlotte. That was annoying. Viking Raiders with AJ Nomos. That was cool. It gives us a new storyline. Elias in the ring was fine. Drew and Bobby contract signing was so lame. Nikki Cross interview so corny. Kofi and Xavier, or rather Kofi and MVP, that was fantastic. You guys just giving us a fantastic promo. Eva Marie, sorry Eva. Mansoor backstage with Mustafa. That was good. It was really good. It just makes me really excited for the future, which I guess a promo that's exactly what it's for. Then we had Rhea and Charlotte backstage. That was dumb. Sorry. Then we had Randy and Riddle backstage. That was fine. Shayna with Nia. That was pretty decent. And then Alexa's Playground. Very interesting for the second half of it. But I'm going to go with it. Kofi and MVP. My pick for promo of the night.
I agree.
They got too emotional with it. They got real sad. Alright, so Wrestler of the Night now. First up, we had the Tag Team Battle Royal between The New Day, Mason T-Bar, Lindsay Dorado, John Morrison, Viking Raiders, and RK Bro. I'm going with Mace. Mace is my pick for this match. Don't ask why.
Okay, I'll accept it. I'm not gonna question that one.
Then we had Elias versus the other dude. I'm going with Elias, even though he ran out during the match. Then we had Ricochet versus Humberto. I don't know who to pick for this, but I'm going to give it to Ricochet just for that Spanish fly. Then we had Cedric Alexander versus Jeff Hardy. I'm picking Cedric. He's constantly got that passion that makes him so fun to watch. Then we had Rhea and Charlotte versus Asuka and Nikki. Guess I'll go with Rhea. I don't know. She had a fun bit where she had Nikki on her shoulders and she just waved over at Charlotte. That was interesting. I don't know. Then we had Mansoor versus Drew Gulak. I'm going with Mansoor. Drew didn't do much at all. And then lastly we had Riddle versus Kofi Kingston. And I am absolutely going with Kofi. Kofi fucking killed it this match. He every match he's been doing lately, he kills it. Him and Xavier both put on bangers every week. And it feels like Kofi knows something's coming, so he's trying to give amazing performances so that
Lead up's good.
yeah. I hope we get Kofi Mania too. Or Kofi Slam. Kofi Slam.
Perfect.
Kofi in the bank. Money in the Kofi.
I like Kofi in the bank more.
Oh, you don't like Money in the Kofi?
It's weird.
Kofi in the bank sounds like Corey in the house. But yeah, Kofi was fucking awesome. That's all I can really say. That alone is so much more of a compliment than I gave to anyone else in this episode. So I'm gonna go with Kofi as Wrestler of the Night.
I will agree with you. I will agree with you on this one.
And also, for future reference, leave your comments or leave questions in the chat now for a Q&A section after the bests of the night. That way they're there for us to answer. All right, now match of the night. First was the Battle Royal. I don't know. The Battle Royal felt so rushed. But also they threw commercial break-ins, so it didn't feel that rushed. Like the ending, like 3 people got out at the very end. They got out of nowhere. I don't know. I didn't love it. I liked Viking Raiders
preferred
winning.
like Viking Raiders being brought down to like one person.
Yeah, you just like Ivar. Then we had I'm never gonna mention the next match. It was just so bad. Elias didn't even want to acknowledge it, so I won't. And we had Ricochet versus Umberto. Could have been such a fun match. It really could have. But then they decided to do the double count out finish, which was lame as shit. Well, could have been worse.
Could have.
Could have been so much worse. Could have been Ricochet leaving. Then we had Cedric Alexander versus Jeff Hardy. This match actually was a lot better than I thought it would be. Jeff pulled out. I watched Jeff Hardy on main event. He was actually really cool there. But he was still fantastic in this match. Still pretty short though. Then we had the women's tag match between Rhea, Charlotte versus Asuka and Nikki. This was it was serviceable. It served the story, and that's pretty much all you can ask for. Wasn't impressive wrestling. It wasn't, anything revolutionary. It was just serviceable. Didn't give us anything new. Then we got Mansoor versus Drew Gulak. Again, this could have been fantastic. You got 2 super talented wrestlers in this match, and you give them 2 minutes. Maybe less. Man, I wish it was longer. I could watch a 15-minute match between these guys on main event.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we had Kofi versus Riddle. I really like this match because not only was it fun wrestling, but the added storyline of like Riddle's whole gimmick over wins style, which is exactly what Randy has been opposed to this whole time. It played a huge factor in this match, feeding him the loss. And I love when a storyline like that just like comes across real well. And I get the hate with the draping DDT because nobody does it as well as either Randy or Tommaso Ciampa.
It was also the way that like Riddle tried to do like the funny face.
He
and all,
did.
like,
He really did.
like it doesn't work for you.
Well, that's to be fair, that's Riddle's whole thing is trying too hard. Yeah, I thought this match was a banger. Even if it had a couple flubs, it was still miles ahead of anything else today. Like, let's be honest. So that's my pick for match of the night: Riddle versus Kofi.
Whatever.
I know. So to run it back, promo of the night: Kofi versus Kofi and MVP. Wrestler of the night: Kofi Kingston. Match of the night: Kofi Kingston versus Riddle. It is a Kofi sweep. I think it's the second Kofi sweep you've gotten.
I think like we had it last week too.
Really? Kofi's great. All right, so you want to do some questions?
You have some questions?
I don't think we have anything on YouTube, but Miriam left something in the chat.
Oh yeah, thanks, Miriam.
If anyone else is watching, don't be afraid to leave a question. Anything goes. All right, so Miriam asked, if you guys were running the draft, who would you switch from Raw to SmackDown and vice versa? Raw to SmackDown, vice versa. I want to do. Can we do SmackDown to Raw first?
Sure.
Because I think that would be the easier one.
Who do you hate is the real question here.
Or who could bring up the show? Like who might be underutilized on SmackDown right now? Oh, this is easy. Big E.
Yeah. Okay.
Bring Big E to Raw, reunite him with New Day. If that's too simple, then I'll say huh. Let's see.
I'd like to bring Slapjack back down to Raw.
You're implying Slapjack is even still on SmackDown. Let's get
Trying to
Kevin
think who's
Owens.
on Raw.
Kevin Owens back on Raw.
I think I wouldn't mind bringing maybe bring Liv back to Raw.
Live to Raw.
Yeah, give them another woman.
I want to say, if we're talking women, Bailey. Bring Bailey to Raw. Have her feud with Alexa Bliss. Turn Bailey face, but still maintain her style. I think it could work.
Yeah, I think as far as like that would be my choice for women. I think for men,
Not
men,
Big E.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to agree with you. But yeah, I mean, it'd have to be Big E because I want New Day back together.
Yeah.
Undo the pain that they gave us.
Mm-hmm.
So for Raw to SmackDown, what would you do? I would put Damian Priest on SmackDown.
That would be really good.
Yeah.
That would be great. I'd say The Miz. Put The Miz on SmackDown again.
Then I'd probably put Rhea on SmackDown too.
I feel like
Because she's fucking wasted right now.
yeah, she really is. Love to see it. Love to see a match between Bianca and Rhea. But I feel like The Miz on SmackDown, we'd actually get like pretty decent Miz TVs. Or like they'd serve a purpose if they even keep them at all. Women from SmackDown to, or from Raw to SmackDown. Let's see. Asuka.
Ooh, okay. That's smart.
Asuka is being completely wasted on Raw, and she has exhausted all avenues at this point. She's been women's champion or tag team champion, and she's been Raw Women's champion. Put her on SmackDown again.
Would you move any tag teams?
From Raw to SmackDown and move the New Day. from SmackDown.
Move the New Day. Move the New Day to SmackDown. Bring Big E to Raw.
Just to torture everyone. Oh my god.
Like Xavier Kofi are like, yes, we're gonna be back with E, and then like the next round, Big E gets drafted.
Oh, actually, women to SmackDown, Naomi.
Oh yeah, bring her into the Roman feud. Her stand there for a second and be like,
Roman feud plus a great match against Bianca. Anyone in that roster.
I do love the idea that like Naomi doesn't know what the hell is going on as far as the Roman feud is concerned, and for her to like come up and see Jimmy like kind of just like following Roman around like his like little lapdog and being like,
Jimmy just like comes home every day just like really sad.
Naomi's like, do you want to talk about it? And he's like,
but tag team from SmackDown to Raw. Oh god.
oh God bless.
What SmackDown tag teams are there?
You getting the same thing as I am?
No.
Another Amber Alert.
Oh, I didn't get this one.
Right now, I'm just getting him.
SmackDown to Raw tag teams. Let's see. What fucking tag teams exist? The Usos definitely not move. Don't move the Usos. Oh, Chad Notice.
Okay.
The way that they're working RK Bro on Raw, they could do something similar with Chad Notice.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I think we did a good job, Steph.
Yeah. All right. So that ends the Q&A. Liz, would you like to close out the show?
It would. If you enjoyed us tonight, thanks so much, truly. It's a haul. If you joined us in the future, you know what? Thanks. You're watching a podcast about Raw on a day that Raw doesn't even happen. That's impressive. With that said, please join us tomorrow night. It's going to be super duper ooper fun. We're going to be watching NXT, which is actually fun. Shocker. They know how to write stuff. Also, pretty sure we're getting the $1 million belt back, and I could not be more fucking thrilled.
Isn't the $1 billion belt?
It was $1 million. Ted DiBiase is the $1 million man.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I'm super excited for it. I think you should be too. Yeah. It'll be fun.
It will be.
Actually fun.
Thank you all for watching. Follow us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. We've been planning to send out subscriber newsletters every week with, top 10 wrestlers among the biggest promotions and the best show of the week and the best match of the week. Now we have to put that on Twitter because Twitch is getting rid of subscriber emails.
We're also planning to do subscriber giveaways on Fridays.
That's money.
$5.
Yeah. Yep. Well, follow our Twitter. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. If you subscribe to the Twitch, though, you can watch our videos as soon as they are finished going live. You can watch the past 2 weeks of podcasts with no wait for YouTube at all. Who knows how long it'll take me to put it out? I don't know. I might have to go to a doctor at some point. I have to go to the dentist tomorrow. That could stop me. And my Twitter is at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you all tomorrow for NXT. Till then, have a fantastic night.